This is the 8th day of July, 2009. Madam Clerk, we're going to open the meeting. First, I'd like to call on public comment. David Shapiro, Glenn Bailey, and Madam Clerk, I run a 1-minute public comment, but if you need more time, take it. Okay.
Hi, Mr. Labange. David Shapiro, and I'm here really to introduce myself to you again, to remind you I led the battle of the taxi drivers and John Ferraro before you came on staff, assisted with that along with Joe Locks to break through the yellow monopoly. Still on the board of the taxi association I founded, United Independent Taxi, and I now have submitted, when you were not here, my most serious study of my 32 years of experience, which could be a model for taxis in any city of the world. And I want now to deal seriously with you, have you take that study seriously in the months ahead as we move to refranchising. And then I'd like to have an interchange with you. And I remind you, we both were classmates at John Marshall, and
That's right.
We knew each other over.
What year you graduated?
Pardon?
What year you graduated, John Marshall?
I'm sorry.
What year did you graduate at John Marshall?
In John Marshall?
Yeah.
1951.
Good. Okay, so you beat me by 20 years, but I still will be there. This is Lisa Schechter. Lisa, set up a meeting.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Great.
We're finally fixing the track at the school, if you've driven by lately.
Okay.
Okay, good to see you. Thank you. It will be in a couple of weeks. I'll read the report, but we'll set something up. Mr. Bailey.
Good afternoon. I know that I might be able to speak with you this evening on the bicycle ride from your office, but
Right.
I thought since I was here, I could go ahead and hopefully have spoken to other members. At your last Transportation Committee meeting, there was an item on the agenda regarding parking meter zones. And one of those parking meter zones was in Northridge for 800 parking meters. And I have heard back from the two neighborhood councils that are certified that neither of them knew anything about this proposal at all, and nor did the Chamber of Commerce know anything about it.
Which Chamber of Commerce?
Northridge Chamber, which is now known as they go by the North Valley Regional Chamber of Commerce, but they incorporate Northridge. So this is Reseda Boulevard in Northridge. There are two neighborhood councils on either side of Reseda Boulevard. I did forward them the report that was from your agenda your last meeting, but they were disappointed that they hadn't been aware of it before the city was looking at spending the amount of money to do that, plus the impact on the businesses and the communities, and just, again, the
Parking
notification.
meters. To spend the money on what issue?
To install, it's a new parking meter zone.
Right, got it, yeah.
So it's 800 spaces, which is about 2/3 of the total amount that the city was looking at spending $1 million for, so it'd be 2/3 of $1 million.
Good suggestion. Maria, take note of this here. Make sure that all notifications on this committee that go to the Department of Neighborhoods and require the Department of Neighborhoods to filter that information out. Information is knowledge is power, and the Department of Transportation certainly wants to be transparent. But everyone has to be notified. The only way to notify them is through our Department of Neighborhoods. So we got to rig that mechanism. Thank you, Mr. Bailey.
Okay. See you tonight.
Thank you. You got it. Thank you. Joined by Councilman Parks. Thank you, Mr. Parks. Just took public comment. At this time, we're going to call the agenda.
Item number 1 is a Gru Rosendahl resolution relative to the amendment of preferential parking district number 25 to alter the restrictions currently being used.
Good. From the department here, we're going to say approve, move forward. Thank you. Approve, move forward. Item 2.
Item 2 is a Parks Board motion relative to implementing traffic calming measures on La Brea Avenue within the confines of CD8 and related matters.
Call the Chief Field Deputy of the 8th District, Bernard Parks.
May I ask Mr. Fisher, just give us a thumbnail of when we could expect this work to get done?
The chief component of work will involve the purchase of signal poles and equipment. We'll do most of it by contract. That will take about 3 months just to get the equipment in. So we'd like to get everything installed in 4 months. That would take us into November.
And that's the overhanging caution light?
That would be 2 speed feedback signs, which probably would go in 2 months facing southbound traffic, and then a overhead set of flashing lights that would advise motorists of the signal ahead at Coliseum Drive, since they've traveled about 1.5 miles without a signal, and many of them pick up high speed. So we're looking at about 4 months.
Okay. Now, I've seen you've gotten the K-rail up south of the alley. Now, is that yellow marking, is that new, on the street, or is that?
We refreshened the thermoplastic striping and put in a yellow center line that was somewhat faded from before.
Okay, and then
And we've also put in new signs to advise of the many curves along the roadway.
Okay, so the two things that were left were the speedback signs and the overarching caution light.
Yes.
Okay, and we figured 4 months total.
Yeah, and we'll move it ahead quicker if we can get the equipment sooner.
All right, and so our motion puts the money in the right accounts. So
The right accounts and adequate resources to do so.
Don't do a general service on me and come back and say, I need 80,000 more now.
No, we won't.
All right.
All right, good, we got that down for the records. There we are there, Mr. Fisher. So we'll move forward with this. Mr. Parks moves, I second it, go forward. Next item.
Item number 3 is a LeBron Grill motion relative to authorizing expenditure of $300,000 in the specific plan impact assessment fee funds for the proposed median traffic signal improvements east of Universal Center Drive.
And this is an improvement to what is a improvement that was made that caused a traffic challenge at the point. Anyone here from the department want to speak to it? You're okay with it, Glenn? You're okay with it? Good. Mr. Parks, we'll move it forward. Okay, item number 4.
Item number 4 is a CAO report on the 6th annual status report relative to the Santa Monica Boulevard Transit Parkway project.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Wei Lau with the sales office. Your report mentions an attachment A that was left out when we transmitted the report, so I gave a copy to the clerk. It is basically a delineation of the sources and uses of funds. The report before you is a closeout report on the project. The contractor's work was completed in November 2006, and the traffic circle work was completed by Street Services in January 2009. We estimate the final project cost to be about $96.1 million, and we expect $3 million to be reimbursed to the general fund for related costs.
And this project is 100% in the area west of Beverly Hills to the 405
I'm going to have engineering go through the
parameter.
layout.
While they're doing that, could you repeat your statement about the $3 million return?
For $3 million, we estimate to be returned to the general fund for related costs.
For what, for related costs?
For related costs.
So is that part of the original 14 million that we?
It was about
paid?
13 million. If you look on attachment A, go down to the line that says project indirect cost reimbursements. The city, that would be the 13.23 million that the city would have gotten back, but the council opted to, and the mayor opted to defer sending that money to the general fund until the project was done because the project was short on funding. So at the end of the day, we're looking at about 3 million coming back to the general fund now.
The 3 million, all right. Thank you.
Mr. Parks, we had a conversation, this is Santa Monica Boulevard, west of the city of Beverly Hills.
Yes.
West of Cedar City, wholly not a part in Hollywood, which has another project in there, so we'll clarify on that.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, good. Mr. Rosenthal, any questions?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, so I recommend,
Yes.
okay.
The thing, I didn't quite understand, one expenditure that we actually said we're returning some federal
Oh,
money,
okay.
even though
That's-
it's earmarked for this project?
Yes. That is the right-of-way money.
Okay.
The right-of-way money can only be spent for right-of-way expenditures, and we have none. That money,
Right-of-way what?
we have no more right-of-way expenditures that qualifies for that money. That was very specific money for a very specific purpose.
Let me ask you, did we have the ability at that time to swap it out?
No,
We're-
it's only meant for right-of-way.
I know, but we spent money on right-of-way.
We spent money on right-of-way, and we bill for everything that we have spent. If we had additional costs that was right-of-way, we would be able to bill for that against the
Okay, so
grant.
all right, so the clarity is, we've billed for all of the money we spent on right-of-way. They gave an allocation larger than we needed.
Right.
So it wasn't money we were returning.
No,
Okay, all right,
we're just not tapping into that money.
okay, very good.
All right, Mr. Parks moved, Mr. Rosendahl second, move this forward to council.
Yes. Well, no, it's the budget and finance.
Oh, it goes to
Unless
budget
it
and
gets
finance?
waived,
Waive
or
it.
the budget and
Just waive
finance.
it.
It's 3 committees.
Last time I waved was at the zoo.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Who we waive?
Billy. That's right.
All right, okay.
We'll see you
All right.
again in budget and finance.
Good. Thank you. Okay, now, Mr. Rosendahl has joined us. Could we, for the record, items 2, 1, and 3, approve those?
So moved with my vote.
So moved on all of those here. Okay, now we have public comment. Josh Kovic? Josh, hi. I run a 1-minute public comment. If you need a little more time, you're welcome to have it. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for letting me speak to you today. It's a quick comment. I want to ask for council's help in, I guess, an oversight for LADOT regarding the motion back in February to terminate the hybrid parking pilot program. Not asking to overturn that, don't worry. I did look and see that when the motion was put in, the third item was to have the LADOT perform outreach, let people know, affected constituents, and unfortunately, I was never told, and then I received 3 tickets in the next 30 days. I even called LADOT on the 2nd of March, talked to someone, they said I was still fine, so I have a hearing next week, and I was just hoping I could get a recommendation from council to get those tickets overturned.
Well, this is Los Angeles, California, not Chicago, but, okay, let me just correct something there. Mr. Fisher, you're Assistant General Manager. Would you come to the table, please?
Why 3 tickets? I mean, after the first?
After the first, I called the office. I even have the phone record, and whoever I spoke to said, no, yeah, you're fine.
Then you got a second.
I got a second ticket, and then when I appealed, I finally, got the notice in the mail. I said, all right, I sent it in. I sent in photos of my decals, because I'd done it before. And then in the time for that, I got the third ticket, and then I got something in the mail that said, we received your claim, however, as of February 10th, City Council voted to end this project.
Wasn't there a grace period, Mr. Fisher?
Yes, I believe there was a grace period where during the month of February, they issued warning notices to advise.
You got a ticket in February?
I never got, I parked, up through, I never got any notice, nothing. The first notice I got was when I actually appealed.
Well, they'd only issue the warnings if you were in violation. And it's also my understanding that on our website, we gave the information that the program was being discontinued.
No, I know, I was concerned about this,
But I would advise, whatever information you have, you bring it to your hearing and appeal your case there.
Yeah, I have it set, but I'm concerned that just because there wasn't any
Let me ask a
outreach.
question, Mr. Fisher. Do you know if there's been any dismissals of these tickets based on lack of information or confusion, or the hearing officer felt it was justified?
I personally don't know that. It's
Okay.
not under my area of the department.
So, have you ever been to this committee before?
No.
All right, you
I
just,
just researched this because of,
where's your hearing?
What's that?
Where's your hearing?
The hearing is next Thursday at an office in Van Nuys.
Right.
If you'd like to give us the specific information you have, we can give it to the appropriate AGM who handles parking.
And Ms. Jackson is here, who's our liaison for council.
Next question, where were you parked each time you got the ticket?
Once I was parked on La Brea between 2nd and 3rd Street, and another time between,
What time on La Brea?
what time on La Brea? It wasn't during street cleaning. It was all these tickets were for meter expirations.
Okay, not peak hour restriction.
No,
Got
this
it,
was,
okay. Meter expiration.
one was at 8 a.m.
Second and Third Street on La Brea, and the next two?
The other one was on Venice Boulevard, meter expiration, and the other one I have somewhere else, but it was also a meter
And
expiration.
where Venice and what?
Venice and, it doesn't say the intersection.
Well, you got to know where you were.
But I would like to clarify something. There are two types of violations. One is where you don't pay the meter, and hybrid vehicles were exempt from paying the meter, but you're still not allowed to exceed the posted time limit. If there's 1 hour or 2 hour parking, you still must abide by that, whether you're a hybrid or not.
Oh, and these were definitely, this was, went into an office, came out, 30 minutes later.
Ms. Jackson has arrived. She's very good at helping people. Ms. Jackson?
Thank you very much. Carolyn Jackson, Senior Management Analyst, Department of Transportation. Mr. Sadati normally attends your meetings. However, he had another meeting outside the area today, which conflicted with this one, so I apologize. If this gentleman would like to give me his information, I'll discuss it with the staff that handles that and get back to him.
Great. That's the way to do it. We can't administer that, but Ms. Jackson, that's her job to help and lay us on. Thank you for coming down.
Thanks
It's your
for-
first visit to City Hall?
Yeah, first.
All right, if you have a little extra time, take the elevator up to the top, Tom Bradley Tower. You'll see a great view of this city.
Great.
And Ms.
Okay.
Jackson, before you go,
Yes.
I was in Ralph's checking out yesterday, and a constituent came up to me, very upset because I'd gone to a meter that was at fault, and it was flashing, and she took a picture of it, and she ended up having to pay. We tried to get them to do something about that.
I think the procedure is normally you have to pay the ticket before you schedule your hearing, and that could be the issue she's running up against.
Yeah, the thing I don't like what Mr. Rosendahl said, and I'm with him on this, is if a meter's broken, you're still liable if you're parking there.
Usually, though, if you've called it in, it's broken,
I
and the number's
understand.
on
Most
there.
people don't call in and say meter number 1212.
I know, I
Picture
understand.
of it and everything else, she was very upset because...
Have her send it to me. You have my email address? carolyn.jackson@lacity.org.
Now, here's what we're going to do.
Yes.
As the vice chair of,
Can we get
acting
that
chair,
to, Len Wen? It's a woman named Frances.
we may look at that in the next committee meeting. So,
She grabbed me.
okay, so Ms. Jackson's the one. Thank you for coming. Make sure you go to the tower. Okay, and then also, put another press release out reminding the public that all meters expect to be paid, and even if you're in a hybrid vehicle, because I think it's just good to remind people. Okay, Madam Clerk, we have nothing before. I thank Mr. Parks, Mr. Rosendahl, and the department who's here, and all others, CLA. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, good.